it just blew my mind. I remember seeing like Loose Cannon the first time that I went to a do it probably, and that just like melted my brain, man.
He is talking to you the same language. I'm sitting here trying to understand what the fuck you guys are talking about. And this podcast is about music, not any particular genre of music. As we know, prog is something that's
Progressive.
it's progresses through everything, you know. So there's no genres when it comes to prog. Although some people, I'm sure, would disagree with me.
So I feel like I'm in the place that I want to be now after almost 2 years, I think, that we've been.
Yeah, so slowly progressing.
Stuff. Yeah, slowly progressing.
That's good. Progress is good.
I think
happens quite a bit in hip hop.
I think we lost a lot of the respect and the importance of placement of progression in a lot of genres because we don't listen to a full album anymore.
Yeah. My problem is the word prog is that most of the music now is progressive, or any other
All music in its nature is
progressive. Yeah, it has to progress. Otherwise, it's just bloody. Well, you got it on a loop or whatever.
The genre of prog to try and come up with an answer.
So is it a genre?
Well, I can't really speak on it because I don't listen to prog. And
What is prog?
I don't know. Prog is bullshit.
Thank you.
Thank you, solid professor.
Prog is bullshit.
So how you feel about it?
Great, we'll do another couple. Take 5.
Hello bitch, yes I'm really fucking angry. I don't give a shit where you're from if you hate me. Get your shooters, bring your whole fucking navy. I'ma just go stupid, get these pussy boys to pay me. And lately, I ain't really need a gravy. Everybody talking, think they hotter than these flames pink. I'm tasty, so these bitches trying to chase me. I don't give a shit, I'm just focused on the side cheese. Not a rap, but I'm focused on the cheddar. You might blow it back, but I bet I blow it better. All facts, I just get these bitches wetter. That shit like a tap, I'ma need a new umbrella. Drip, drip, yes, dripping on my face. Put a Fitbit on my dick like I'm trying to win a race. Big tits and they swinging like some chase. I'm in love with money, so I make it every day.
Prog is bullshit.
Good evening, everybody who is watching and listening. This is Solid Professor Music, Prog is Bullshit podcast, episode number 3. And I have a couple of guests with me who are going to introduce themselves shortly. I just want to take this opportunity to say if you like this podcast, or generally if you like what you see on Solid Professor Music, guys, please click like or give us some comments, because YouTube it likes comments, it likes likes, and I like good comments, so give us some good comments, and I don't like bad comments. So anyway, guys, why don't you introduce yourselves? We got Ryan and Tommy. Ryan, you go first. Please introduce yourself.
So I'm Ryan Willow, aka Gammacell, aspiring DJ from Canberra. That's who I am.
I'm Tommy the Kid, musician of sorts. I make a little bit of hip hop in terms of production, and then I make plenty in terms of the recording of my vocals. Been making music for about 6 years now. So, yeah.
Well, welcome, guys. Thank you for coming here on this, what is it, Thursday evening?
Yes.
Tonight we are drinking Poncho Fox gin. This particular one is cranberry flavored, and it is my favorite flavored gin, I gotta say. Oh, this is a big one. Maybe we'll share.
Are we going straight?
No. We got gin and tonic. Although it's very drinkable straight as well. Have you smelled it? Have a smell. It's a very nice smell. Have a smell, Tommy. This is a straight one. There's no. But
Delicious.
Smell that one. That's awesome. And I had tonic. I had 2 bottles of tonic sitting there earlier, guys. I hate to get up, but I'll have to. But you can continue talking if you want.
How'd you get into music?
I got into music from a very young age.
Yeah.
Just listening to pretty much like finding my parents' music.
Yeah.
Hottest 100 CDs, and I think the first one that I ever picked out of the shelf that really spoke to me was Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Chili Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I grew up quite sheltered because I was the first child.
Yeah.
And the first time I played it, I was like, why the fuck do my parents have this CD? Like,
Yeah.
it's just talking about all this very kind of not the vibe that I thought they had going on. So it opened my eyes to the world of like, just kind of lewd acts and, a lot of other fun stuff. But yeah, just digging through the parents' records and...
Cheers.
Making mixtapes from records, that was really cool.
Yeah. No.
My mum had a home hi-fi system that had a record player, so you could just chuck a tape in the bottom and record,
Yeah.
like the Eagles, like Hotel
Record on
California.
what? Record on what?
Record straight from the record playing
Onto what device?
onto a tape.
Oh, okay,
cassette,
tape. Yeah, that's nice.
And I would make like
Yeah.
mixtapes for us to go to like family trips to Melbourne and stuff.
Yeah.
I would like
nice.
Yeah.
make compilation tapes from my mum's records. I suppose that was the first. Now that I think about it, like being a DJ now, it's kind of funny to think about. I was subconsciously doing it from a young age, I suppose.
Yeah. So, guys, you've introduced yourselves. Let's talk. Let's talk the first segment of the podcast about you and your music interests, music activities. Tommy, you said you've been doing music for now 6 years.
This is the 6th year, I believe. Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
What sort of music are you into? Have been doing? Are currently doing? How?
I'd say I grew up listening to mainly indie music and like alternative rock and stuff. And then it wasn't until probably 12 that I discovered hip hop. And I also like listened to a bit of heavier rock and stuff because of my dad. My dad would be like the main person who showed me music growing up. But my mum actually put on a So Fresh CD and it had a Eminem song on it. So like that was when I was first exposed to rap, and then just got it all on my iPod, as much Eminem as I possibly could get on it. And probably from the age of like 12 to 14, just exclusively listened to Eminem and like.
Definitely went through that stage.
Yeah.
I think everyone had a bit of an Eminem stage, to be honest.
I gotta tell you, I missed the whole Eminem.
Missed the train.
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah. I'm glad.
I think his older music is better, so
Yeah.
you can still go back anyway. Yeah, it's not missing out on much nowadays, I don't think.
And it's not only him that I missed. I missed a lot of music. I was just stuck listening to Russian hip hop.
Fair enough.
For many years.
Yeah.
Fascinated by that.
Yeah, and then I started producing when I was about 15, and probably a year or so later, that Christmas, I got a microphone for Christmas. So just naturally went from producing to recording, and then I would say since then I've just kind of swung in and out of like preferring to record and preferring to produce, and then like being somewhere in the middle sometimes. So sometimes I'll just make beats, sometimes I'll like only record on other people's beats, or sometimes I'll do a bit of both.
So what sort of music is it?
I would say it's all hip hop. In terms of production, I really like making like old school hip hop, I guess, like boom bap.
Boom bap, yeah.
Yeah. But when I'm recording on other people's beats, I usually look for the harder trap metal stuff that I do, because that can be a bit more difficult to produce. I'm getting more into it, but it's the creative decisions are very different from other hip hop that I've done. Yeah, so
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be keen to explore this issue a bit more. Ryan, what about you? What's I think your background is from metal, from music liking in terms of, can you talk about it?
I mean, my parents divorced when I was young, about the same time that I got to the age that you start really kind of gravitating towards music and finding out your identity through music. And I guess I wanted to like piss off my parents a lot of the time with a lot of the decisions that I made. Like one of the first bands that I got into was Cannibal Corpse, you know, which to the dismay of my mother, I remember downloading tracks on our home computer, and anyone who knows the band knows that their track names are, you know, pretty hardcore. And I remember mum coming across them and just kind of being, you know, like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is my son listening to? Like, oh God, which is the response that I was after, I suppose. And then it just stuck. And I've always kind of gravitated towards the darker, kind of more kind of fucked up side of things, you know, from really kind of visceral, dark death metal and stuff to all genres that I listen to. Really, I've always gravitated towards the darker side of things.
PROG is bullshit.
I've always been into EDM. Like in Canberra, we used to have like Warehouse and stuff, which was a party that they would put on at the AIS.
So when are you talking about? What
Like
years?
2000s, like 15 years ago. Me and my partner used to go to them at the and it was done by 4Kicks Productions, which was an amazing production company. It's something that just doesn't happen anymore, like full on rave in the AIS, like the big dome. It's pretty crazy, like you know, Dead Mouse and all those kind of like early kind of 2000s EDM stuff. And then I kind of just hung out and worked for a long time, like, you know, 8 years while we were having kids and stuff like that. And then my brother, Aiden, I remember he went to his first doof and just came back to me. Or actually my sister as well, I should say. She was probably the first one.
Do you remember what doof it was?
Yeah, Dragon, for my sister. And I can't remember what my brother came back from, but they both just came back and were like, you know, you should go and check this out. And I did, and it just blew my mind. I remember seeing like Loose Cannon the first time that I went to a doof, probably. And that just like melted my brain, man, you know, like first time doing real acid, you know, like just 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, Luke doing his fucking wild stuff. And I remember thinking like, this is what I want to do, you know. It's taken like fucking 8 years to get into a place where I'm actually, you know, like we went to CIT together, learn how to, it was a very expensive way to learn how to beat match, essentially.
Really?
Yeah. I have a very strange learning method, and I don't think that learning off my friends was doing me well. I needed my own format, and that's kind of what the class at CIT gave me was, you know, I could take it home and, you know, learn about it in my own way.
Yeah.
And it's paid off for me. Like, yeah.
Good. Look, guys. By the way, I told you at the beginning, right, that this podcast is goes out as uncut version. Whatever you say, that's it. There's no option to go, no going back. So Tommy, what about you? So what have you been up to lately? You said you've been hip hop, but lately it seems that you have been into this trap metal. What is it? What's the deal? How did you get into that? What's the attraction? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I guess I started because it's obviously I didn't make the genre myself. There's it's been around for a while now, and I would say it probably evolved from like the old school rock rap kind of scene, and it also kind of came out of the Florida rap scene as well. So I'm not sure if you know about Xxx Tentacion or.
I don't. What about you, right?
Yeah, he's my son's favorite
Yeah.
artist,
There you go.
which is a bit of a worry.
So this is like the younger sort of generation seems to have
well,
taken
he
this
passed
genre
away
on.
recently, Xxx Tentacion, but I would say he really popularized the genre because when he came out with it, there's a lot of other artists who do it and they're very heavy, similar to my kind of style, but his sound was a bit lighter and kind of sounded more like the trap that was coming out of Florida. So it kind of picked up a bit more, I'd say. And
like Little Uzi Vert.
yeah, like they just changed the.
Ryan. You seem to know.
liked it. My friend Jeff got me into it. I never really sat down and listened to it too much, but
Yeah.
I respect the artist.
Yeah, I would say ever since he came with that kind of style and popularized it, there's been a lot of like copycats all over Australia and the US. Like,
So what genre? Just once again, what genre are we talking about? The trap metal
yeah,
genre?
not only that, but also he had more like traditional trap sound as well, and he just like did something with his voice where he like, you know, like he
Like
just
SoundCloud rappers.
yeah, like he kind of really popularized this specific style of rapping, and yeah, lots of copycats came up and stuff. So I was kind of like scared of making that kind of music, but I ended up like producing a kind of beat that was similar to something that he would make, and I just screamed on it, and yeah, with my shitty USB mic that I had, and yeah, I just loved it, you know.
So when was it?
I would say that was probably 2018, maybe 2017, maybe. Yeah, and it wasn't definitely not as hard and harsh as the stuff I'm doing now. It was still like in the early stages, you know. But when I was doing it then, yeah, it was kind of like the thing that kept me going was the fact that, well, first of all, I had, I guess, a natural talent to scream or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't hurt me when I screamed, you know, and it still doesn't really hurt me too much. So that was good.
It seemed like at one point that you were going to lose your voice tonight when you performed.
Yeah, just gotta-
I was a bit worried.
Just gotta get more liquid, you know, in there, and it just gets real dry when you scream more than anything. You just need to keep drinking water, but
Some honey in it.
yeah, like having that coffee saved me. So
PROG is bullshit.
But I'm surprised, Ryan, that Ryan was concerned earlier. I told him that I'm going to have two more guests, young rappers, and Ryan was a bit concerned. Well, how am I going to fit into the two young rappers? And here we go. He knows, you know, he is talking to you the same language. I'm sitting here trying to understand what the fuck you guys are talking about.
I think I was more worried about making Gammacell relevant to that.
Of course, Gammacell is relevant to this. You've made it relevant.
Yeah. Well, I'm aspiring to be a multi-genre artist. That's what I want to do.
And this podcast is about music, not any particular genre of music.
Yeah.
As we know, prog is something that's
Progressive.
it's progresses through everything, you know. So there's no genres when it comes to prog. Although some people, I'm sure, would disagree with me, but that's the journey to discuss, and also about the evolution of music in general. So in terms of this particular genre that you guys were talking about, you, Tommy, is it evolving? How is it evolving? What do you think about it? Where is it going? Is it does it have a lot of potential, and it seems like it does because a lot of is it the thing with young people, or tell me?
Yeah, I would say the audience is mainly young people. When I had my old Instagram account, because I told you it got deleted, I had mainly, it was like my age group was like mainly 14 to 19 year olds. So mainly younger people who are not only interested in my music, but it seems like it's younger people who are interested in the genre in general. And also quite a few young artists as well, like artists younger than me who are into making the genre. And I would say that it is evolving because it's kind of splitting off into multiple different sounds. Like there's actually so much. There's like synth punk and like all this different stuff, and it's like some of it has no 808s at all, and it's just like punk drums with like synths in the back. That's what the synth punk usually sounds like. And there's like they're all different punk genres, like metal genres, whatever you want to call them, but they all kind of fit into the same category, I guess. So it is definitely evolving, and that's why I reckon it came from rock rap, because you can kind of see the progression from that with how some songs include the live drums still. Some of them don't. Some of them are pure electronic. Like a lot of the stuff I do is mainly electronic sounds. So,
I mean, a lot of it's been going on for years, man. Like, you know, if you think about like Body Count, you know, Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Back in the day, like the early 80s, they would do it like, you know, rock rap and like hard rock rap.
I would say Slipknot is a pretty big inspiration.
Public Enemy were doing it. You know, a lot of that kind of rapping over kind of trying to think of the band. It's eluded me right now, but it's been going on for a long time. That kind of hard edge,
but it seems to have now this genre has been populated by the younger artists. So like you mentioned,
well, they've made it theirs and put their own spin on it. I'm noticing similar thing kind of with electronic music, tech house. There's a lot of cool tunes coming out, and I look at the artists. I was telling you earlier today that I look at their profile picture. They're very young people, young guys. Tech house is one of the genres that I haven't really, you know, my thing is like when I gravitate towards something, I research it thoroughly and stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning watching fucking YouTube videos about the history of things. I haven't really delved too deep into tech house. It seems pretty new. I suppose all of those kind of sounds are evolving from tech and house. And you know, we live in an age where everything's been done before. You know, so it's really hard to kind of not everything maybe. But like.
Well, pretty close.
Like.
But there's still cool sounds coming out.
And you just need young, you know, effervescent people that are willing to forge the path and create something new, which is, you know. But I personally definitely tend to, you know, I always said when I was younger, like I was born in the wrong time. You know,
why is that?
I always wanted to be born in the 60s and shit, you know. When fucking Albert Hoffman was first creating LSD and, you know, Woodstock and all that kind of stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that I've said that about a few generations. You know, the punk wave, you know, like, like, you know, stadium rock, Led Zeppelin, all that kind of stuff. So we live in a place now where we can appreciate all of it, you know?
Imagine of the older people who are now some of the party goers back in the day who are now maybe physically unable to party as much, and they're like, oh, look at all this music, I wish I was born earlier so I could actually bloody dance to this music that's coming out.
That's an interesting concept.
I'm bloody unable anymore.
Although usually it seems to go that whenever a new wave comes along, everyone that was there before it was like, I was there when it fucking started and our generation was better than the next. Like, you know, you get all these jaded old old hippies and punks who are just like, which happens a lot with EDM as well. Like, not EDM,
definitely.
like
I even
rave and stuff. Like, you get, I'm on a few Facebook groups that are about like the 92, house and like acid house and stuff. And it's really interesting. You see a lot of cool stuff on there, but there's also a lot of older guys who are just like, no one does it like we did, and the ecstasy was better, and you get that kind of jaded view. It even happens with doofing, man. Like people that were doofing 10 years ago were like, what these kids are doing isn't doofing, and where's the love gone? And,
Yeah, I don't know about all this lovey stuff. It's kind of a bit not my thing, to be honest.
You need to do some more ecstasy.
I don't know about that.
PROG is bullshit.
But Tommy, so where you think it is heading, or in general, rap? What do you like? What are you hearing? I gotta tell you, I'm kind of not very excited about the sounds and particularly the lyrics that the younger generation rappers are. And I don't want to put all of them in the same bucket, but it seems that there's a lot of this kind of the music may be great, but the actual tunes themselves, but the lyrics that come with it, they're kind of very basic, and you do some of that too. Look, I'm not going to be you do a lot of fucks and no fucking not much depth,
Yeah.
So what's up with that? Can you tell me? I'm a bit disappointed with all of it.
Yeah, well, I think when I make trap metal music,
I'm a straight shooter, Ryan. So, right?
when I make trap metal music, it's like whatever. I don't feel like I'm making music. I feel like I'm having fun, if you know what I mean. That's why I like making so much of it, because it's just like I'm skateboarding, It's not like I'm doing it because I want to be famous or rich or anything. I'm just having fun. Yeah. Whereas when I make a boom bap beat, and I'm like, I feel like I'm more of a rapper, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm more focused on the flows and lyrics and stuff. And like, I do even worry myself sometimes, like, oh, is my shit too basic or whatever? But at the same time, like, I freestyle every other day, and I constantly am working on my actual lyrics. So I think that what some people don't see is that the only reason people make these basic lyrics and stuff is just because they're having fun. And I think that a lot of the artists aren't good enough yet to go and make like a Kendrick Lamar song, So and that's where I am anyway. I don't, because when I make a song where it's like a boom bap song, I really care about the quality, whereas the trap metal stuff is just I
emotions.
I just put it out there, like it's more I'm just having fun. So yeah, I guess that would be my reasoning for why I keep it basic sometimes, is because it just comes out. I just write it down, record it. Sometimes I only spend 15 minutes on a song and then it's out. So.
But nevertheless, you said this is going to be like the track that you performed, song we performed today, going to be on your EP.
Yeah.
So will this EP be like on, not just on SoundCloud, but will it be like on Spotify? Released on your label or any other label?
So I've got to pay off the producer in Russia, and then once that's done and I've recorded everything, I want to, like, although I just said I prefer to just push out the trap metal tracks and not really care too much. I want to try and make this EP like a bit more polished.
Yes.
So because like I am keeping these songs and saving them for the EP, and I can always make a new song, so I'm not too worried about like not being able to release them straight away or anything. But
I just need to duck to the bathroom.
Yeah,
An old man.
Go for it.
Old man.
But yeah, once I've recorded everything and I've paid the producer, I just need to pay an engineer. And then I've got a mate who is pretty good to me, and he does good prices for music videos. So, get a few videos done, maybe a show before it releases, something like that. And then, yeah, I'm hoping that one will be this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you
Yeah.
know how many tracks will be on the EP?
If I remember correctly, it's about 10.
Oh, that's almost like a full album.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's almost, yeah.
Chuck a couple of more and that'll be an album.
Yeah. But it'll definitely be the biggest project I've released, and it'll be available everywhere. So that'll be good. Yeah.
What label are you going to be releasing it on?
Probably under Mind Melt Media.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. Probably under that, but like I've just been working on so much music for my own stuff. I haven't really been thinking about that yet. So, but yeah, I need to think about it for sure. Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? What sound are you digging at the moment?
I just did a gig for a party of a mate. Shout out to Harry Roll. Yeah, and I played some dark drum and bass, which I hadn't got into previous to that. And it's a hard, because I don't really like neurofunk, which is, they kind of go hand in hand. So it was hard to kind of, there was a few nights kind of spent like doing a bit of research and really putting a lot of time into separating those genres that are so close. And I came out with a set that I really enjoyed. So that's really getting me going at the moment. And also like hardcore breakbeat, you know. Our mutual friend Declan Keneally put me onto, and Rags put me onto that sound, like 91, 92 kind of early hardcore breakbeat, like pre-happy hardcore stuff. I don't really like happy hardcore as much. It's a bit too light for me. But just those mad piano rolls and, you know, with the aim and breaks, I find it really interesting to mix that kind of stuff. And not like that. What made me levitate towards it is that Declan and Rags were the only people that I heard playing it. So it's kind of really, you know, especially in Canberra, like I don't know anyone else who's playing breakbeat hardcore. So it's kind of, you know, standing out on its own a little bit. But as I said, I'm trying to forge myself as a multi-genre artist, you know. Anywhere from, I didn't think I would, but I love playing like house and techno and stuff. Like
The prog?
Yeah, a bit of prog. Yeah, why not? Yeah. But it was funny because as I said before, I'd always levitated towards the darker sounds and faster stuff. But when we were in CIT, the format of the classroom meant that everyone else was playing like 125 to 130, like tech and tech house. And I remember the first class sitting there like, fuck, I want to be playing like jungle or like high tech, you know, 200 BPM fucking madness. And it's not going to fit into the mold of the class, you know, it's going to affect the flow of the class. So I had to go home and be like begrudgingly download a bunch of house and techno so that I could fit into the, you know, beat matching lessons in the class and stuff. And I ended up like enjoying it. And I remember my first couple of sets that I tried to record, I was doing house and techno and tech house. And then I had this, it sounds stupid, but I had this fucking light bulb moment where I was like, wait, I'm not at school anymore. There's not the format of the classroom. Do whatever the fuck you want, you know? So I, you know, downloaded a bunch of dark sci and that kind of stuff, which is, you know, around the 160 to 180 mark, and really got into mixing that. So I feel like I'm in the place that I want to be now after almost 2 years, I think, that we've been
so slowly
mixing and
progressing.
stuff. Yeah, slowly progressing.
That's good. Progress is good.
Yeah. But at the moment I feel like a bit of the like bitch DJ. Like I'm happy to play whatever people want to hear, you know, whatever promoters want to book.
But
you know.
isn't it what makes a good DJ?
It is, and that's what like I always wanted to be.
to be able
multi-genre DJ.
versatile, to be able to suit to what
exactly.
you need to.
Like a perfect example, I've got a gig coming up on Sunday at Sideways. It's
I'll take a look at that one sec.
Yeah.
It's going to happen obviously before this comes out, but I had organised to do a like hardcore breakbeat, like 90s rave set, and my mate Dan, who was the organizer of the event, sent me a message saying, you know, it's a sit down event. Sideways has said, can you play your music accordingly? And Dan, like, I love the dude. He was, he just sent me this message like, maybe rave and jungle is a bit too like, you know, hardcore for the night. So I had to go back and, you know, reassess what I was going to do, and I'm ending up doing a dubstep set, like UK dubstep, which is you know, not Skrillex and American stuff, like the proper dubstep.
I want to start actually recording over that.
Yeah. But
like,
yeah,
like
so
garage and all that.
Yeah, garage. Yeah, fucking earth.
Yeah.
But so I got thrown a curveball. You know, I'm going to have to perform something that I'm not really comfortable doing so, but I think I'm at a skill level where I can, you know, just take that on board and say, I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm going to do it for the sake of getting booked, because, you know, I'm just lucky to, at this stage, to be getting booked. So I'll play whatever I need to.
Awesome.
PROG is bullshit.
So, guys, you know that I think we're entering into the the third segment of our show, which is the progressive bit. You guys both have sort of the metal pins in your heads.
Yeah.
Maybe let's start with the metal progressive rock. Maybe let's take a step back. I've always been interested. What's your take on this question, for example? Why do we call rock hard and metal heavy?
It's a hard question to answer. Rock had been around for, it was like the evolution from the blues and, you know, some of even country stuff. Some people would probably hate me saying that, but in the really early days, rock was like, you know, if you wanted to be played on the radio, you had to make tunes that were pretty kind of not easy listening, but like, you know, they would get radio play. So you couldn't be too controversial. You couldn't say certain things. A lot of the blues bands, like, you know, the Rolling Stones, you know, they started playing covers of, you know, blues tunes and kind of, you know, forging the path for stadium rock, you know, which is what they started doing. But they were a cover band to start off with.
Yeah.
And then things just progressed from there.
To where?
To like the Doors started coming out playing really weird stuff that they wouldn't play on the radio. They would only play it in like, you know, the Rainbow Room on the Sunset Strip in LA and shit. So you started getting really kind of, you know, people that didn't really give a fuck about getting played. And that's, I suppose, where it started getting a bit harder. You know, and then you had stadium bands like Led Zeppelin, which were also a cover band when they started, but they took it to a different kind of, you know, I mean, you got the Beatles, man, you know, which were rock and roll.
Again, why is it metal heavy, rock hard?
It's the chord progressions and the way that they play the chords, essentially. A lot of down tuning.
So we cannot call metal hard metal.
Well,
I'm saying we call rock, we call hard rock, but metal, we don't say hard metal. We say heavy metal.
We say death metal or black metal. Because there was fucking hair metal, man. Like, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, hair
so
metal.
What's the difference between heavy metal and death metal?
Well, death metal is all down-tuned instruments. They're like really heavy chords. It's about the tuning of the guitars so that it sounds like it's really distorted and chunky and heavy. And the vocals as well. Like the vocals define a lot of metal genres. You know, Cannibal Corpse and Autopsy and Obituary were really guttural, like growling vocals.
What do you reckon, Tommy? Jump in. Jump in.
I reckon it's because hard metal sounds stupid.
Metal's already hard. You can't make
You
can't make metal harder.
You can't really make metal.
Is it rock hard already?
Yeah, but not as
Not all rock. I wouldn't call like the Eagles.
yeah.
I wouldn't call that hard. So
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But I suppose like the progressive factor of a lot of early, like what they would call prog rock and stuff, is like bands like Pink Floyd and shit, where you would sit down and listen to a whole album. You know, it wasn't like you'd sit down and listen to one song. People would spend all their money on a fucking Pink Floyd album, and go home and play it from start to finish.
Yes.
So it had to start off in a point and end in a point, and the record goes for like an hour or whatever. So the sound would progress. It would start with something and build into a crescendo in the middle of that, you know, like Dark Side of the Moon. Anyone that's listened to that would understand progressive in that sense, because it builds up to a crescendo, and then the last couple of songs on the album kind of, you know, ease the fucking energy off a little bit.
You can say the similar thing about hip hop albums though, because a hip hop album is a story usually.
Well, it's like
so the story progresses.
I was
It's
just
like
about to say it started happening in hip hop as well, especially with like alternative hip hop. So like Tyler the Creator, Mac Miller,
Kendrick Lamar.
yeah, like Tyler the Creator's I think it's his newest one. It's called Igor.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah, it goes start to finish, and it sounds like it kind of restarts at the very end.
Yeah.
Like the last track leads into the first track.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and then Mac Miller Circles. That's another one that does the same thing, and it's called Circles for that reason. I think. Yeah. So
I think we
happens
lost
quite a bit in hip hop. Yeah.
I think we lost a lot of the respect and the importance of placement of progression in a lot of genres, because we don't listen to a full album anymore.
Yeah. Well, I do.
You know?
I do.
Well, I know. Yeah, many of us do. But
That's my preferred way of listening.
Yeah.
To it.
yeah, but in our like disposable culture
Yeah.
these days, you know, it's all about like what's the hit off the album.
Yeah.
You know, what
Yeah.
the kids are playing on fucking TikTok.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
background music.
I guess I just do it differently. I listen to albums.
Yeah.
That's how I approach
Yeah,
music in
we're just
general.
old souls, man. Like, you know, and it's good that people are still listening to music in that way. But
I don't know any other way. I just prefer it. I mean, like, whether it's
Yeah.
an album or EP or whatever, I listen to them one
yeah,
to the
yeah.
end.
But I suppose like progression and prog in different genres really kind of, you have to stick around and listen to a piece of music, you know, like prog in a DJing sense and kind of electronic music sense. Like Luke Cannon said on one of these podcasts, like it goes back to the early days of like Paul Van Dyke, Armin van Buuren, like, you know, just creating, you know, like they do like 3-hour sets.
Yes,
you know, of
yes,
all like
yes,
vinyl
definitely.
and shit.
Yeah, but
You know, dig weed and stuff.
I guess
And so you have that time to like, you know, the real artists at the breakout of
Yeah.
the scene were making these huge mixes that, you know, built up energy, and they didn't really have, you know, trance and stuff. It has drops, but not like as kind of like instantly gratifying as a lot of new genres. You know, like you would listen to one set for, you know, sets were like 3 hours.
it's just my problem is the word prog is that most of the music now is progressive, or any other.
All music in its nature is progressive.
Yeah, it has to progress. Otherwise, it's just bloody. Well, you got it on a loop or whatever. Like it has to start and finish.
Yeah.
So
And like try as I might to relate the genre of prog to like to try and come up with an answer. I can't.
So is it a genre?
Well, I can't really speak on it because I don't listen to prog. And
What is prog?
I don't know.
Prog is bullshit.
Like it seems to be a genre that you can, especially in electronic music now. Like people say, "Oh, I listen to prog," but like.
But that could mean
I think
totally
it's
different things, can't it?
I think it's redundant to
Yeah.
say that you listen to prog.
Yeah.
I think it's like an easy kind of
Excuse
easy way out.
to
Like,
explain.
yeah, like
something.
I don't want to put anyone down for who would say I enjoy prog music in terms of going to a festival or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just would really like to hear someone who says that they listen to prog explain what it is, because in terms of, I mean, I suppose multiple people have said it on this platform that it's a set that kind of builds up and kind of, it has a base and it builds up and then reverts back to a new, it kind of wipes the slate clean and you build up with a new set of, a new stylistic value, and then it drops back again and, keeps on going like that.
And I think prog could just mean a lot of different things, and you
Exactly.
say prog, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
really know what the person
sure.
means,
Yeah.
right? What's your take on it, Tommy?
Well, most of my understanding of prog would be from hip hop, because that's mainly what I listen to.
Yeah, I'd like to actually hear how does prog relate to hip hop.
So-
What's prog hip hop? Is there one?
I would say that there's plenty of artists that are like prog or have made projects that are like prog. Like Travis Scott, like I was saying, Tyler the Creator, maybe Kanye. Artists like that.
I'll just interrupt you for a second. In the future, guys, I'm gonna have a laptop where we could actually get on during the podcast and play.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a
It's
Jamie.
coming.
You need a
It's coming. Jamie is coming. But we also need a beautiful a waitress to serve us drinks. Jamie, female Jamie,
Or
Jamie,
a waiter.
Wait,
We're in a non-discriminatory.
But-
no,
Prog to me,
why not
Tony
Jamie
Tom.
be both?
And you know a few boys that we could get up
Go-
here in a nice little skirt.
Jamie,
to
Google
serve
prog.
drinks.
Actually, have you ever tried Googling prog? I've never tried it. I wonder what.
Me neither.
I did actually today. I googled
Yeah?
progressive music, and it wasn't really. I suppose there's two different meanings to the word, essentially.
More than two, I think. There's plenty.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
But what you've said it before, like prog, as in like sounding cool, or not like that it's progressive in. If you look at music like evolving over time, then somebody doing something new would be the definition of progressive.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like we were
yeah.
talking about the music that you're making and performing
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Like it's progressive
Yeah.
because not a lot of people are doing it. It's a new thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I suppose it's a multifaceted
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
In hip hop, it's mainly, from what I can tell, it's mainly like beat switches and
Yes.
beat
Yes.
changes. So like moving from trap drums to boom bap,
Yes.
or
Yes.
like maybe even like Kanye's newest project Donda has a song on there called Off the Grid.
Off the Grid.
Yeah, he's got
Gotta check it out. Off
as
the
a,
grid.
Yeah, starts as a trap song, and then I think it and Playboy Cardi features. I'm not sure if you know who that is, and then it switches to a drill beat halfway through, and then it artist called 5 Foreign comes on. He's a NY drill artist, New York drill artist, and
Yeah.
he just
They did it with Sicko Mode as well, right?
yeah, Sicko Mode's a great example of a prog hip hop,
It's like 3 different genres in one song.
yeah. I would say the
And
the breakdowns and then the beat changes after the breakdowns, especially if you can manage to change the key of a song like halfway through.
I was going to say, there's like the Camelot's wheel, right?
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of DJs and producers use, which is like it shows you a way to progress in key and energy, through the production of music. which I've had some friends who have studied music and then were DJs, and they actually sit there with the Gammacell's wheel and, you know, build the energy in it, you know, because the greatest sets that you'll ever see, half of the punters on the dance floor won't even notice, but you're building in key and then getting to a certain point and then dropping back and, you know, taking people on a journey.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's the best example of progression that you can get, really, is people really methodically and mathematically, you know, producing their music. And the most interesting thing is, like I said, a lot of people on the dance floor don't even notice. Like it's you know, that's, you know, the greatest sets that you'll see are probably in a time and space where you're focusing on just having a good time, and this guy is like the Pied Piper, just leading you through a fucking some kind of tripped out, you know, journey, which is like, you know, Luke Cannon does it amazingly, and like different genres as well. You know, a DJ that can switch from different genres and get you know, you look for one person on the dance floor that's not getting off, and you make them get off, you know, through playing, you know, some kind of genre that they're not expecting.
That's awesome. That's for sure. But in terms of, so can prog be backwards, sort of a deep progression? Is there such a thing?
I reckon. For sure.
Yeah. Sort of going down, slowing down. Or, I mean, it's still progressing, right? They can be deeper. Are they going up or down? You're progressing.
Yeah. It's like we were talking about just now, about like proper selectors, you know, who, you know, they'll build up to a certain point and then drop a fucking, you know, rap track at a doof. And it's gone from like, you know, 180 fucking dark side into like a tune that everyone knows, and it drops back down to this level. It gets everybody dancing, everyone's on the same, you know, on the same trip, because they all relate to this song that's being played, and then you build it back up from there, you know. It's really interesting.
PROG is bullshit.
What do you guys think in general music? What's the current affair? The Spotify controversies, Joe Rogan and all that. What do you?
What's the controversy? I haven't heard about it.
Well, they just say he had a couple of episodes with some, let's say, controversial doctors talking about COVID and all that, and they were labeled as misinformation about COVID.
I saw a rebuttal from him on Facebook the other day.
I saw it too. But the thing is, what it has led to is apparently some artists, because they don't agree with Joe Rogan, and taking their music off Spotify. Yeah.
But if his rebuttal is anything to go off, they weren't his opinions.
Yeah,
they were the opinions of doctors, people who have been, you know, like learned people. You know,
totally agree.
It wasn't him.
Exactly.
You know, I'm getting him on.
I
the
don't
podcast.
even know why he got the hit. You know, he's just talking to
it's
people.
Just the way the internet works.
I think
man.
that's. I think it's pretty silly, because like, if you disagreed with, let's say you disagree with, you know, fucking Travis Scott or something, with the Astroworld thing that happened recently, you know, he's on Spotify. Why wouldn't all those artists hop off Spotify because he's on there? It's just because he's got a deal with him or whatever. So
but it's just the way things
interestingly
play out.
How like, people take that, like for this person, Neil Young, right, who took it off. I don't know him. I've never heard his music.
You don't know Neil Young?
No, I don't know Neil Young.
Heart of Gold?
No, I don't know Neil Young.
We're going to listen to some Neil
All right,
Young
we'll listen to him. All right, and not on Spotify.
I think Neil Young is going to lose out more than Spotify will too.
He's earned his wealth.
Yeah,
he's
probably.
Sitting on
the thing is, what I'm some people, I'm even gonna name. So some people have taken his decision as an example of take your music off Spotify, don't support Spotify. You know how artists sort of try to boycott Spotify. And
I mean,
all that.
Spotify's pretty shit anyway. Because
I love Spotify.
you have to play like 365 times to get $1. I think.
Well,
it is.
yeah, but I mean, of course, yeah. In terms of the getting the money revenue for the
Yeah.
artist is pretty shit. Yes,
Yeah.
but then Neil Young did not take his music off Spotify because
Yeah.
he thought it's shit for the artist, right?
Everyone who likes Neil Young has Neil Young records in their house.
Yeah.
The thing is,
like-
what I'm concerned about that people are taking his decision and try to use it as to get off Spotify type of thing because Spotify doesn't pay much. But Neil Young is not a good example for that. He didn't take it off for that reason that it didn't pay him enough. And a lot of times it's not the artists who make that decision; it's the labels, the label bosses. When you ask an artist,
But if someone like Neil Young comes onto a platform like Spotify, the backing that he already has, he's going to get millions of plays straight off
yes,
the bat.
definitely,
So
yeah.
you can't compare that to an artist who's putting out a track on Spotify and trying to get
it out
clout
there.
or
Yeah.
trying to get it out there.
I'm just the point I'm trying to make is he's not a good example for claiming that Spotify is not good for artists.
Yeah.
He didn't take his music off there because of that. He
No, he took
his
it off there
for
from
personal
the-
reasons
yeah,
or whatever. So I've just commented that there was a label boss that a label that
Yeah,
boycotts Spotify, and I respect that label very much. Anarchic Records, shout out to Anarchic Records from Amsterdam. That's the label that boycotts Spotify, and I have found it, and I'm glad because there's so much cool music that I cannot find on Spotify. So
I mean,
shout out to Anarchic Records.
Personally, YouTube is great. Like, it has its own bugs as well. But I think YouTube is I've always personally held YouTube in a higher regard than
It does pay.
Spotify and
it does
stuff.
pay less than Spotify though.
YouTube
right.
pays less.
Yeah, pays
But
less.
a
It's
lot of
actually
the
the
money-
the lowest paying streaming service at the
Right, I
moment.
didn't know that.
Yeah, about $900 for 1 million plays. Yeah.
I always just thought that that if you listen to like properly uploaded stuff on people's profile, then I thought money was going to them in a better fashion. But obviously,
Yeah, I looked at the USD numbers not too long ago because they're always changing anyway. But Apple Music is slightly better than Spotify. Pays you slightly more. Hopefully, it hasn't changed anyway. And then Spotify is just above SoundCloud, and then SoundCloud is just above YouTube.
So SoundCloud actually pays you?
Pays more than YouTube. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been paid by SoundCloud.
Oh, I didn't realize that SoundCloud pays, but what
Have
I
you got
200, I've got like
SoundCloud?
200
Have
plays.
you got the Pro or whatever it is? Oh.
what I hate about
I might have a paycheck
SoundCloud
coming.
is
coming.
I get
bloody
like 1
ads.
cent every month. So.
the ads. If you have a
Yeah.
pro account, and if I don't have a pro account, and I listen to your music, I still get ads. I feel like, and they say the reason I get ads is because you get paid. But I feel like because you're already paying for a premium account, your listeners should not be getting.
I agree with that
Ads,
for sure.
yeah.
The fact that SoundCloud makes artists pay so that they can have their tracks monetized is pretty sad.
Yes.
I reckon.
Facebook does
And
it
then
as well.
the thing is, they double monetize it by making your listeners watch commercials as
Yeah,
well.
well, you got to pay to monetize it.
Yeah,
and then
they
they get
monetize
money
it
from the
on me watching it
monetization.
or listening to
And then
it.
if you subscribe, so you don't have to watch the ads,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
get that. So
yeah.
It was interesting. I was going
Guys,
to.
I'm gonna leave you for a second. You please keep talking.
Yeah. I was going to use the Facebook boost for my profile on Facebook.
Yeah.
To try and get my mixes out there a little bit.
yeah,
And my missus said that there was a few bugs in the system where people were using that boost function, and then anyone that would comment on your post, you would have to pay for it.
what
Yeah.
for each comment?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how it all kind of works, but
Yeah. Facebook advertising tools are pretty confusing. I've tried to jump into them. People making plenty of money off knowing
yeah.
how to use them as well. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, my artist page gets like no likes.
Yeah.
And then if I post the same thing on my personal profile, all the homies raise their hand.
Well, honestly, as shit as it is, the only social media that gets new traction nowadays is TikTok.
Yeah, true.
As shit as it is, I hate it.
Maybe I need
but-
to get onto TikTok.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Like, people that I know even, they just make a random TikTok, get a couple thousand views,
yeah.
you know.
But I suppose,
crazy.
yeah, in terms of releasing music on it, especially for a DJ, like, I feel like you have to, you know, have a little, you know, pocket full of tricks that you can just
Yeah.
do in 30 seconds.
Something
and
make it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Double drops.
I'm going to
and
use the toilet as well.
Yeah, we're taking turns. That's good.
tag team.
I love it. Taking this opportunity to make another shout out to Poncho Fox Distillery for making our night I'm a little bit more happy at night.
And also Holiday Rich Red cigarettes.
Hey, bloody, we need royalty for this.
I strongly endorse the Holiday Rich Reds.
Yeah, but they're not our sponsors, so we don't really like them much.
Also, they're slowly killing us.
Yeah, well, everything is killing us. We just need to make it
A little bit sweeter with some Poncho Fox.
Yes, dying slowly.
Yeah, here's to dying slowly.
Die slowly with Poncho Fox. What a bloody plug. Die slowly. No.
I'm sure Patrick will.
Live happily with Poncho Fox and die happily. No, I like tonight's podcast was very, very chill, and we didn't call prog bullshit too much.
Although
But we know that it is.
it is, yeah.
And just a message to all of those prog producers and prog DJs.
Yeah.
Look, you know it, we know it. Prog is bullshit, but we still love the music. It's a separate thing, you know.
Your life's work is valid.
It's
Let me just say
not
that.
only valid, it's valued as well.
Yeah.
Valid and valued. So, what's next in your progression, Tommy?
Well, like I was talking to you about it before we started filming. I really want to do a show this year. Hopefully, like mid-year, maybe a bit earlier, and just start, getting out there and performing, because Canberra's pretty shit for hip hop, like,
Well,
as I've said before.
How come I haven't seen you at any of the recent hip hop parties? Why is that?
Because, look, to be honest, I don't really like many of the Canberra hip hop artists as
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. But what about
they're
coming
very-
and putting yourself out there?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's,
Participating in ciphers, stuff like that.
oh yeah, I mean, I still go to street uni every now and again. It's just calmed down a bit because of COVID, I guess. But yeah, I just don't see him. No one advertises to me that there's a show. No one says, "Hey Tommy, do you want to come to my show?" So
So you're thinking of starting something of your own?
yeah, just doing some shows of my own.
Yeah. Fucking do it. man.
I want to learn how to do it all without having to rely on anyone.
Yeah.
Especially.
Jeez.
So that's that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get some shows done this year. Some free ones, some ones that you got to pay for maybe.
Yep.
And also potentially getting some artists from Brisbane that are kind of making similar kind of music to me as well. Get them down. That would be good. Got probably more friends in Brisbane when it comes to music than I do here. Yeah, because there's just not really that many artists making the same kind of stuff as me. To be honest, like they're all making boom bap or trap or R&B kind of stuff.
And in terms of the mind melting media label through that,
Mind Melt Media, yeah.
Mind Melt Media. So what are you doing through that? Are you producing? Are you releasing any tracks? Other artists, your own
like
stuff?
I said, that's been kind of on the back burner because I've been just working a lot on my own music. But the artist Tear Shit Up from Brisbane, who's under Mind Melt, he's always working on music, and like pretty independent in terms of his work process, and he's always sending me tracks and stuff. So whenever he's releasing stuff, you know, we always try and post about it. In terms of the other artists, yeah, they're just not too active as far as I can tell. Some of them are kind of working on stuff behind the scenes, but it's not really ready yet. And yeah, it's just hard. Sometimes it can be just so hard to organize it, even a studio session with a Canberra artist, you know. Yeah, a lot of them are, you know, busy doing their own thing. Got to work and that shit. So.
PROG is bullshit.
How have you been finding the local scene, Ryan?
Oh, it's great, man. In terms of my music, I didn't mean to, like, the Canberra scene is so tenacious and really, you know, all of my friends, that's what really drew me to, you know, apart from going to festivals and listening to music, that I had so many friends in Canberra that were pushing sounds, you know, like, shout out Dan Haywood, It's a London Thing, The Heads Are Rolling, you know. I always dreamed, it sounds a bit corny, but I always dreamed that I'd be able to play with the boys and, you know, get asked to play, which I did recently.
Yeah,
at the Jungle Bells gig.
I'm so happy for you, bro.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. I mean, like we said
happy.
before, it's about like having the friends in those places is really, really good. But it's just like I'm about to do my second club gig in Canberra, which just blows my mind. But it's really the friends that I have that are pushing, you know, really kind of underground sounds, and, you know, just, yeah, so much respect for them. Tidy, Samwise, you know, like, just, you know, like, the Heads and It's a London Thing, Dan, they've both booked, like, crazy international artists, you know. I remember going to see Groove Rider play at fucking Sideways, you know, this dinky little fucking bar in the city. And, you know, the boys were going to play a set at a certain time, and it didn't work out that they could go and pick him up from the airport. So I got to go and pick up fucking Groove Rider, you know, one of the, you know, the pioneers of drum and bass and that sound. I got to go and pick him up from the airport and, you know, make a fool of myself, trying to be cool around him, you know, like, it's just crazy. Like, the guys that they've booked, and like the really crazy, like, dubstep kind of, you know, acts that they've booked, Fixate and fucking, yeah, it's I have so much respect for them, and to be able to play tunes, you know, on the same set, you know, list as those guys, that's really gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know, to know that I'm at a place where I can do that. Like,
awesome. What about you, Tommy? Where are you at? Are you happy where you are?
Yeah, pretty happy. I mean, I just want to, I wish that there was more artists making like my kind of stuff, or at least just like
Why?
Well, because I feel alone a lot of the time.
it's
you know?
new, man.
That's good.
In the genre.
I feel alone.
Yeah.
Well, how can you feel alone when you got so many bloody followers, or like, I'm not saying you in particular, but the followers of this music,
Genre,
of this,
yeah.
of the sound. How can you feel alone?
Well, because there's so many other artists in it, but they're all fucking everywhere else, you know, in the US, and so it feels like when it comes to the Canberra trap metal scene, it's me, and it, like I was talking about earlier, this one dude who doesn't really post much, and that's it. Like, and I haven't even met that dude. So
Oh shit!
I'm not too sure about
Cameras rolling.
Cameras are rolling.
Cameras are rolling. Not only the heads.
But look, I'm always happy to be a musician. You know, there's nothing better in the world than making music. So I'm happy where I am in terms of, you know, I didn't give up. You know, since our last interview or anything. But I just wish there was a bit more traction with the Canberra music scene, in terms of the rap scene anyway, or at least
I think it's up to you to make the traction,
yeah,
right?
at least I just wish it was like when there was a rap show. Like I said, I never hear about it, so it's like it's almost like and I'm a rapper, so I should hear about it. you know?
Yeah.
So it's almost like the messaging isn't right, you know, as well. So
I'll put you onto a good friend of mine, Jedbury.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out
know-
Jeff.
I know Jedbury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he can.
But I haven't.
Try and get
Well,
you-
I haven't
help
met
you get
Jebri
the
yet, and he hasn't been turning up.
He's
to
very
this-
talented.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
he's
But he hasn't
he's
been turning up.
producer.
I haven't. Yeah, where is he? Oh, I want to
Well,
see
he's been
him.
working on his LP
Yeah, I want to see him
quite
perform
seriously.
live. Yeah.
But Citizen
Come on,
Kane,
Jeff.
He's
Where are you?
his producer, Citizen Kane, is like, you know, him and his brother Genesis Owusu, they're on like a crazy level now. Like Genesis Owusu's got like a place in the top 100.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking like Vodafone ad. It's not Vodafone anymore.
He had an Adidas ad as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, like it's crazy. These Canberra artists,
Yeah.
and they're making tunes out of their fucking
Garage.
bedroom. You know, their bedroom
I'm pretty sure
studios.
Citizen K's studio is just in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right in the middle of the city there.
So like, shout out all those
I've
guys
seen him.
as well.
Yeah.
I've
That's
seen him
crazy.
live
man.
actually. Citizen K.
Yeah.
He goes up there with a live drummer.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
raps as well.
Cool.
So he's super talented.
Looking forward to catching up with those guys at some point.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. If they don't blow up too quickly.
Well, they're already.
That doesn't matter.
Larry-
Let them blow
Larry
up.
blows.
The fuse is
Still
still
looking
lit.
forward to
Yeah.
catching
Yeah.
you up. I'll catch you guys, no matter how big you are. Well, what are we on? 1 hour and 8 minutes, guys. I think we are coming to the end of our podcast. I enjoyed this one. This one was a very chill one. I didn't have to. 3 people didn't gain up on me like an episode 3. You
I
know?
thought it was going to be 2 rappers versus me on the other side of the table. So
I think there's no versus, you know, it's us versus Prog. Although no, it's no, there's no versus. We love Prog. It's just I'm disappointed that we're using this word that have once had meaning. We're using it in a way that it's becoming meaningless. So
Oversaturated.
yeah, and you don't know. And someone said I love Prog. You don't really know what the fuck they're talking about.
I just want to get that guy and bring him on the show.
So would you agree that Prog is bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
So can you say what the name of this podcast is?
Prog is bullshit.
What's the name of this podcast, Tommy?
This is Prog is Bullshit, episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
Episode 4.
I'll do the fucking. I'll cut. Prog is bullshit. Prog is. I'll have all my guests say the name of my podcast out loud. Well, guys, thank you very much. I think it was a very
Thank
informative conversation with you. Really pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Solid Professor. Solid
thank you
Professor
very
Music.
Yes. Thank
Like,
you.
subscribe,
Yeah,
comment,
yeah, like,
share.
Yeah, you do that,
subscribe.
please.
Put it in your Instagram bio.
Yeah,
Just comment. Give us some comments. What do you think about
yeah,
Prog?
keep the
You know,
algorithm going. That's,
if you have any ideas, you know, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, please hit me up. Yeah, guys,
express your disdain for
whatever,
Prog.
whatever, yeah, or for me.
That's fine.
Yeah, look, like Joe Rogan said in his explanation, we like haters too. You know, I like good comments, but look, don't mind getting some haters. It just, you know, comes with the territory, I think. So thank you to our listeners. By the way, those who are listening, this episode 4, from starting episode 4 onwards, it's going to be on podcasting platforms, so you can not just watch and listen. So including Spotify, which we talked about today. Yeah, that's
Spicy.
number 1 aim, and then the rest of these podcasting platforms. But But for the meantime, it's on YouTube, and so for those who are listening, it is also available in the video version on YouTube. So thank you very much. Thank you to our sponsor, Poncho Fox. We've gone through half of the bottle. It's amazing. This drink.
And Holiday Rich Red cigarettes also.
What are they giving us?
Throat cancer.
Don't do this at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Until the next one. Peace. Awesome. Wow. Nice one, guys.
That was a good one.
Prog is bullshit.